begin, and one will follow. Today, millions of eyes are focused on a few that are chasing history.
Continues to stand tall in his quest for a whole lot of money. He's the only driver to be eligible for all 4 of the No Bull races run so far, but he's only come close to cashing in with a 2nd and 2 third-place finishes. He thinks today might be the day it all pays off. Bobby's not only chasing $1 million, he's also chasing history. A Pontiac hasn't won here at Darlington since 1963, but he's got a long way to go, starting back here in the 24th position. However, in happy hour on Saturday, he was among the 10 fastest drivers, but he realizes he'll need a lot of luck on his side to win the big jackpot.
For 15 years, 2 successful men chased one elusive goal. Finally, in February, persistence was rewarded with performance. A Daytona 500 win, a celebration for team and teammate. But Mike Skinner's season has been punctuated with pain and disappointment since Daytona. Dale Earnhardt's year has seen more struggle than success. Today, as teammates, they battle together at one of NASCAR's toughest tracks, but must beat the other to win. Teamwork has paid off in the past. Can teamwork pay off again today, here at Darlington? Mike Skinner has 66 starts, but no Winston Cup wins. In the first 16 races this season, 1 top 10, 8th at Daytona. In the last 7 races, he has 4 top 10 finishes. His team and his talent are starting to shine. But to hammer out your first Winston Cup win in the Southern 500 might require a little more home improvement. Skinner starts lucky 13th. Dale Earnhardt has 9 career wins at Darlington. Only Pearson has more wins, only 1 more. Make no mistake, winning the Daytona 500 was a career goal, but winning here is a personal mission. The driver has a lot of experience. The car was brand new last week. $1 million would mean a lot, but to Earnhardt and Skinner, a win would mean a lot more.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, with the most exciting words in the world of motorsports, here is our Grand Marshal, Mr. Frank Avat of Pepsi.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
And with that, those words, the roar has begun. And now the quest for auto racing history is about to begin as 5 brave men seek $1 million payday. Sitting in the field are 2 potential spoilers. Dale Jarrett had a shot at the Winston Million 2 years ago, but failed. He knows how to win here at Darlington, though. In fact, he's ended up in victory lane the last 2 times in the spring race, the Trans-South Financial 400. But he's never won the Labor Day Weekend Classic. Jeff Burton has already scored a win this year at the series' first visit to New Hampshire, the 4th time in his career that he's tasted the champagne. And who could forget a year ago here at Darlington when he exchanged paint with Jeff Gordon on the last lap, but was unsuccessful in preventing Jeff from taking the Winston Million. $1 million is on the line, and that's no bull. Live from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, a Labor Day weekend tradition that began back in 1950 continues today with ESPN's live coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500. It's the 24th race of the year, and Jeff Gordon still has a slim points lead over Mark Martin and Dale Jarrett. 4 of the No Bull 5 drivers are in the top 10 in points. Half of them have never won at this facility. 9 races remain after today. Jeff Gordon has the best starting spot among those eligible for the $1 million bonus, and Bobby Labonte has the worst, but all will have pits on the front stretch. And we'll have the rest of the starting lineup and the green flag when we return to Darlington, South Carolina.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. All the coal-cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Power you can count on when you need it most. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
Livelog Day 19. Traveling the circuits of NASCAR.
Darlington, Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte. The drivers, the cars, the action, bumper to bumper, mano-a-mano at speeds of over 200 miles an hour, with us covering every heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping moment at the incredible speed of over
35 miles an hour, as fast as it goes.
What? It's a good thing they keep going around in circles.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
Skull bones connected to the neck bone. The neck bone's connected to the backbone. Oh, backbone's connected to the crossbone. Wrist bone's connected to the hand bone. The hand bone's connected to the tooth. That's how you slam it down. The hand bone's connected to the tooth, and that's how you slam it down.
ESPN SpeedWorld live coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington is being brought to you by Pepsi, by Texaco, a world of energy, by Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction, and by ESPN Video. Get your officially licensed NASCAR videos from ESPN Video. Well, in just a couple of laps, we'll get the green flag and get things underway here today. One factor we have not mentioned is the extreme heat and humidity here today, Benny.
Oh, it is so hot today. About 95 degrees. The humidity way up, as it always is. Southern 500, the drivers will be completely drained at the end of 500 miles today.
And heat will play a part in another way, too. Heating of the race cars. Always a tradition, it seems, here at Darlington that race cars overheat because the track is very abrasive, grinds the rubber off the tires, it gets up into the grills and the radiators of the cars, causes them to overheat. Just another challenge that you all have to face here today.
We will go 367 laps this afternoon. Dale Earnhardt set the track record back in 1993. Tires will be a necessity, maybe even before that, and the purse is $1.8 million. Today's field consists of 24 Fords, 12 Chevrolets, and 7 Pontiacs, and Chevrolet has the advantage in the Manufacturers' Championship. Let's take a look now at the Walmart EverStart grid. On the pole is Dale Jarrett with his third pole here at Darlington, and Ward Burton, who holds the qualifying track record. In row number 2 will be Rusty Wallace, who was third in the spring race here, and John Andretti in his 150th NASCAR Winston Cup event. Starting 5th, the first of the No Bull 5 drivers, Jeff Gordon, going for his 4th straight win in this event, and Ken Schrader, whose best Darlington finish is 3rd. Bill Elliott was the last driver to win the Southern 500 other than Jeff Gordon, and Sterling Marlin, the 1995 Trans-South Financial 400 winner. Starting in the 9th row will be Jerry Nadeau, his best start on an oval track, and another one of the No Bull 5 drivers, Mark Martin. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, I think one thing we have to talk about, gentlemen, is the fact that, boy, when you come here, you've got to be on your toes every inch of the distance. That one lapse could mean trouble for you.
And the racetrack is so narrow that trying to pass is so doggone difficult. And you're right, Bob. It really and truly has to, every moment, has to be on target.
One more lap around, and the grid will get the starting flag and will be ready to go here at Darlington. It's a big week in baseball with the home run chase going on. If you stay with us this afternoon, we'll make sure that you stay up to date on any home runs that are hit by Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa.
And certainly whoever wins this race is going to hit a home run here today, regardless of whether he's one of those drivers that are in the No Bull 5.
And you saw Jeremy Mayfield starting back in 27th position. Remember in the spring how well he ran, folks, and had to pit on the backstretch and might have cost him a chance at the victory. He will be pitted on the front stretch. 28 pits on the front and 15 on the back of the guys at the big disadvantage. And Darrell Waltrip is one of those guys. Take a look at our onboard cameras. Wally Dallenbach will be carrying one. Rick Mast also will be carrying an onboard camera this afternoon. Michael Waltrip, the last time he run this car in the Pepsi Southern 500. Jeff Bodine. How about Jeff Burton in the Circuit City onboard camera. Mark Martin also, the Valvoline onboard camera. Bill Elliott, McDonald's onboard camera. And Rusty Wallace in third spot, a car that's awfully strong here this weekend.
The pace car pulls off the track. Now the field is in the command of Dale Jarrett, who has the assignment to lead them down here as we get this Pepsi Southern 500 underway for 1998. The green flag is out. The race is on.
Dale Jarrett high already down in 3 and 4.
But Dale Jarrett leads that first lap. It's the 6th straight Darlington race that he has led, and it's the 18th event of 1998 in which he has been out front.
Boy, Rusty wants that lead. Look at him come off of turn 2. He gets down on the inside. He might have him going into turn 3.
He moves to the inside and slides up the racetrack.
Oh, he got in the corner so hard he could not keep it on the bottom, and Jarrett goes back by.
Not only did he lose the lead he had temporarily, but the car almost got the Darlington Stripe here in the second lap. Ward Burton runs third, and John Andretti is in fourth.
The Darlington Stripe at this racetrack was when the race car goes up and slaps that concrete and puts the concrete mark on the side of it.
Now the first 4 run right together on the racetrack. A little bit of distance back to Jeff Gordon, who's in 5th spot. Again, Rusty Wallace looks inside of Dale Jarrett through corner number 4. Dale Earnhardt and Mike Skinner are running together on the racetrack. 2 more of the No Bull 5 drivers.
Now we see Jeff Bodine has been able to put himself between those 2 cars, and Jeremy Mayfield tries his charge to the front. Here's Earnhardt looking on the inside of Kevin LePage.
You can recognize the No Bull 5 drivers because their rear spoilers are red, their air dams in front are red, and their numbers on top are red. Now, Dale Jarrett is not eligible for the $1 million. His number is red all the time.
As a matter of fact, the first 4 cars right now, neither of those cars eligible for the No Bull 5. Jeff Bodine watches Dale Earnhardt as he tries to get to the front. Once again, Earnhardt trying to take a look, trying to accelerate down the straightaway. Can't do it. We'll go inside the Tabasco hot zone, see what kind of RPM, what kind of mile per hour Jeff Bodine will be running. This is the front stretch. Up to about 167 miles per hour. Hard on the brakes.
Earnhardt is still unable to take the position away from Kevin LePage. Now he pulls alongside and takes the spot as they go into the backstretch.
And that should give Jeff Bodine a run on Kevin LePage because LePage had to check his speed. They're going in the corner side by side. Wisely, Jeff Bodine backed off and let LePage have the racetrack.
Dale Earnhardt has moved up to 14th position.
Those RPMs getting up to about 8,300. Of course, as the tires heat up, RPMs will reduce a little bit.
I see Mike Skinner losing a spot to Jeremy Mayfield. And Jeremy Mayfield has now moved up to 17th. And, sorry, Bob.
Rusty Wallace trying maybe to get the lead. Nope, he just cannot do it. back now into his clutches as the first 3 cars have pulled away. And the 99 car of Jeff Burton, one of the potential spoilers here this afternoon, is right behind his teammate. Mark is 6th, and Burton is running in 7th position. And last evening during happy hour, Mark Martin said Jeff Burton is the man to beat.
Well, he started 12th and is already up to 7th. And I'm sure he's not pushing that thing now. He's being very careful not to over-abuse those tires. Rusty now trying to make a move on Jarrett. He gets by him up in front there.
So Jarrett does fall back into 2nd this time, and the pass stopped there in the 2nd corner. And Ward Burton now will try to take 2nd place away from Dale. We have our 2nd leader of the race, Rusty Wallace, leading lap number 9. Here's Martin and Burton both going around Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon's not able to make much headway on John Andretti. Looked like the STP Pontiac had fallen back just a little bit from the first 3. Jeff Gordon couldn't make much headway, so he decided to let Mark Martin and the 99 car of Jeff Burton go try it.
But Rusty made the move on Dale Jarrett. This is how he became our 2nd leader of the race.
Going into turn 1, he gets a nose alongside as they head into turn 2 and just shoots on by.
Jarrett led the first 8 circuits of this event, and now out front is Rusty Wallace, with Ward Burton still running 3rd, John Andretti 4th, Mark Martin moving up into the 5th position. 6th Burton, then Gordon, Schrader, Elliott, and Sterling Marlin. Back in just a moment.
Line up every ATV Honda has ever built, and they would stretch from our factory in Ohio to the deserts of California. But in 28 years, we've never built one like this. The first ATV with ESP, push-button electric shift program, full digital display, and our most powerful engine ever, the Honda Foreman ES. We've just added something new to a very long line.
Available at Casey Cycle City, J. Clyde Morris Boulevard, Newport News.
Auto racing and high-tech auto body. The parallels are eerie. In racing, one man is high profile while his pit crew and racing team give support. And at high-tech auto body, Phil Timble represents the repairing and painting of over 7,000 vehicles by his team. In racing, when the support crew does their job, the driver's more successful. And at high-tech, Phil's customers are satisfied thanks to the quality work of his crew. Auto racing and high-tech auto body. The parallels are eerie.
Milestones are how you measure greatness in sports and sportscasting.
For Kenny Mayne, I'm Dan Patrick. Good night.
All right, folks, it's official. Dan's 2,000th shot.
It was a big night. Everybody wanted a piece of history. I'll remember where I was when Dan hit 2,000. Everybody will.
To thank the greatest fans in sports and to close its 50th anniversary season, NASCAR offers you a chance to win a fantasy trip to the Napa 500 in November. On September 27th, during ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series race from Martinsville, we will announce a special phone number. When you call that number, you will be given 4 NASCAR-related questions. Answer them correctly, and you could be one of 10 fans to win this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. Check out NASCAR online and NASCAR Winston Cup Scene for details and a sneak preview of the questions.
It's a Pepsi Southern 500 live here on ESPN SpeedWorld from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. There's the leader, Rusty Wallace, with Dale Jarrett right behind him, Ward Burton running 3rd, and Jeff Burton has moved up into 4th spot.
Yeah, he's just picking them off one by one, Bob, coming up through there, very calculated. He does have a great race car, as Mark Martin has said all weekend. Said 99 of Jeff Burton was the man to beat, and there's Mark in 5th place.
We saw Mark Martin's car go by, and oh, here we go. The Burton brothers side by side for the 3rd spot off turn 4. Ward should be able to back off, let Jeff go, and he does.
More on the 99 and 6 cars from Dr. Punch.
It's exactly how teammates should work together. Earlier in the year when they went to Watkins Glen, Mark Martin and Jeff Burton went up there and worked together. Martin showed Burton the line, how to get around a road course. 2 weeks ago, Mark Martin and Jeff Burton came here, and it was Martin who was the pupil and Burton who was the teacher. A moment ago, Martin moved over to let Burton go by. He thinks his teammate in that 99 is the man to beat today.
Made some great moves already in the race. It's only 17 laps old. Our Pennzoil copter cam is hovering over Darlington Raceway right now, and there's a bit of a cloud cover. We mentioned how hot and humid it was here, but the cloud cover has moved over, so at least as far as the fans sitting on the grandstand are concerned, it's not quite as oppressive.
Yeah, cloud cover is not a bad thing at this racetrack on Sunday afternoon. And we see a battle for second spot is Jeff Burton on the inside of DJ. He's got position. Now, if this was the last lap, Dale Jarrett would not have given that spot away so easily, but this is early on, just 18 laps into the event. Why race him so hard? Back off, let him go. Try to have something at the end of this race.
Jeff Burton has moved up from his 12th starting position to second in 18 laps.
And he's going to be the first in about 21 or 22 laps the way he's coming.
Rusty Wallace is leading his 8th Southern 500 in 15 events here. Now Mark Martin tries to get a position on Ward Burton. And look at Jeff Burton. He has closed right up on Rusty. And Rusty says, if you're so fast, you go right ahead.
They didn't even contest him. He saw him coming, and he knew that he was a good bit faster. He said, I don't want to take any chances going to this turn like I did a little bit earlier.
The fans like it.
And here comes Mark Martin. He's on the inside of Warburton. Takes a spot away, moves into fourth. That have a chance to win $1 million. You see the day-glow orange rear spoiler that identifies that car as a car with a chance to pick up the $1 million bonus. Check out Mark Martin's Tabasco hot zone in the corner, hits the brake.
About 168 miles an hour down the straightaway.
He went over 8,500 RPMs, which was more than Jeff Modine was turning.
He ought to turn more down this straightaway. About the same thing, as a matter of fact. This is a little shorter corner. This racetrack is egg-shaped, and this 3 and 4 is the small end of the egg. There's Sterling Marlin trying to get by Bill Elliott. That's for position. That will move him into Sterling into the 9th spot. Elliott back to 11th now. Earnhardt takes over 10th. And here comes Jeremy Mayfield.
There's something wrong with the 97 of Chad Little, Bill.
Bobby's been losing positions. Chad Little believes he has a tire going down. He's not sure which one. So this Jeff Hammond-led crew will change all 4 tires on the John Deere Taurus. The only possible positive out of this is that Chad will be much faster than the rest of the guys on the racetrack. But right now, on pit road, getting 4 tires.
Rusty Wallace suddenly begins to slip back now. Jarrett is in second, Mark in third, and Rusty's back to fourth.
Boy, Rusty really ran hard there. There was those first 10 or 15 laps. You know that he had to be abusing those tires. He wanted to get that Miller Ford up front, and he did. Led some laps, but he might have abused those tires just a little bit too much. Jerry Punch?
Ned, you are exactly right once again. It's exactly what Rusty said a moment ago. The car had gotten loose. He basically had used the tires up to get up there and lead and get his bonus points. Meanwhile, Dale Jarrett had actually backed off a little bit. There's DJ. You're looking at the front of Rusty's car. He had backed off because he said his car was too tight. The car would not turn in the corner. They were concerned about wearing out that right front and particularly here the left front tire.
Well, Jeff Burton is pulled away to almost a 1 3/4 second advantage on Dale Jarrett. But how about the No Bull 5 drivers? Where are they running? Well, Mark Martin is furthest up front, running in 3rd position. 2 of them are in the top 10. All 5 drivers are in the top 20.
That's a Fullerton suspension bridge. The strength-to-weight ratio of those arches is 1,000 to 1. And the support cables are tungsten wrapped with zirconium flex plates. They'll easily support the weight of this bus.
Okay, so what are you, some kind of structural engineer?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
At Plank Road, we don't do everything well. Fortunately, beer is something we do well. Ice House, thanks and enjoy.
Are the parts here pretty good?
That'll work.
For quality parts, go to the pros.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
I just want to tell you what a great job you're doing. You're hardworking, solid, dependable. You make our pan pizza America's favorite pizza. You make sure the crust is always crispy on the outside, soft and chewy on the inside. Without you, this place is nothing. You are special.
He's talking to the pan again.
Come on. Give me a hug.
Now get up to 3 toppings or a Supreme Pan Pizza for just $8.99. That's $8.99. What more could you want? Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
Pepsi Southern 500 live here on ESPN. The leader is Jeff Burton in car number 99. He's already lapped a few drivers. Coming up now on Jimmy Spencer and Darrell Waltrip.
Joe Nemechek has gone a lap down, so is Darius Bradbury and Dick Trickle and Steve Hart.
And now Jimmy Spencer's gone a lap down as this is really allowing the 2nd and 3rd place cars, Dale Jarrett, Mark Martin, to catch up with Jeff Burton as he has to work his way through the traffic. Now they've got to pass the same traffic, but it's going to be a lot easier for them than it is for the leader. Not a lot easier, some easier. Anytime you pass a car at this racetrack, it's very difficult.
Yeah, but the reason it would be easier for the leader, they try to stay in that lead lap as long as they can. Once that leader has passed them, then they won't fight the others as much because they've already gone the lap down.
Jarrett had a bit of a bobble there coming off the 4th corner in his effort to get around Jimmy Spencer. He successfully lapped him, though, and now Mark Martin does likewise. On board with Mark Martin as he looks ahead to Jarrett and Burton.
We see Rick Mast about to go a lap down to the leader, Jeff Burton, and he does. Rick Mast is running in the 36th position. Getting back off the throttle, close to the corner, now back hard on the throttle. Looks back at Dale Jarrett.
Dale led the first 8 laps, then Rusty Wallace led 11, and Jeff Burton has been up front since then. It's about a 1 1/3 second interval between Jarrett and the leader Burton. There are the Noble 5 drivers, and where they are running at the moment, and there goes Dale Jarrett past Rick Mast.
We have completed 35 laps. And some of these cars now that are getting lapped are pretty soon going to be starting changing tires. There's the Rusty Wallace. He's our 4th place vehicle going by.
Ford Burton right behind him. He's in 5th place in the silver number 22.
And John, I start to say John Andrew, that's Jeff Gordon that has caught that group of cars. When Jeff Gordon got by John Andretti a few laps ago, I looked, he was 4.6 seconds behind the leader. Right now, Jeff Gordon is 4.1 seconds behind the leader. Although the leader has been passing some traffic. You can see Ward Burton drive on the inside of Rusty Wallace, trying to take that spot.
And Jeff Gordon is charging up toward the both of them. He's going to go to the inside of Wallace also. Gets the car down the left side tires, down on the apron a little bit, but made the pass. Rusty is losing a few spots. Boy, Jeremy Mayfield has moved up nicely since the beginning of the race. He started in 27th position, and look at this. He is already up to 8th.
And the best part about it, he's not an 8th that's a half lap down and 3/4 of a lap down. He's only 7 seconds behind the leader in 8th place. About his way to 27th. That is impressive.
We talked about Rusty Wallace a little bit ago. He's dropping back a little bit. He's in 6th place now. He's just sort of hanging on. His car has gotten loose, and he's just waiting for that first pit stop so they can make some adjustments.
Jeremy Mayfield led 42 laps here in the Pepsi Southern 500 back in 1995.
Going by in the gold McDonald's car. He said happy 50th anniversary to NASCAR. We'll see Kevin LePage go by Jerry Nadeau. That puts LePage in the 14th spot and Nadeau back to 15th. Bill Weber.
Well, yesterday Dick Trickle won the Busch Series race here, but then in happy hour he wrecked his primary car. He's on pit road now, getting 4 tires. They have made a chassis adjustment, so Trickle pits after 38 laps are on the board.
I would suspect that his car had gotten very, very loose, and he said, I need some help.
Big Mark hit the deck as he came around. At Indy, he tried to run me off the road. That's what you get, Mark.
Dick Trickle down 2 laps now as he re-enters the competition. Here comes Jeff Burton completing another lap. That's lap number 39. And so far, he has led the most laps. He's been out in front for 20 of the 39 circuits. Jarrett still running second, then Mark Martin and Ward Burton. Ray Evernham looks on. Look at the incredible amount of Goodyear tires that are ready to be put on these cars as they race here this afternoon for 367 laps, 500 miles in the Pepsi Southern 500. We'll be right back.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
NASCAR driver and truck team owner Ernie Irvin spends a lot of time with his top technicians. And when they need a top-quality replacement part,
I got the problem, Ernie.
they know just who to call. They call a Federated Auto Parts professional.
Professional installers trust the Federated Auto Parts pros. They're the best in the business. The guys in the know.
They're the Federated Auto Parts pros.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time.
Ever since you were a kid, you've had a knack for what you do. And at Express Personnel Services, we offer you jobs right now that are right for who you are. Jobs that fit your skills. It's all coming together. The right time, the right fit.
This could be the right place. Now could be the right time.
Express Personnel Services. Jobs that fit.
This is no ordinary leather jacket.
Because when you put it on, you're not just saying you're a NASCAR fan.
You're saying you care about kids.
Buy the Exide NASCAR Select battery in 1998 and get the special 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket for just $150.
And on behalf of NASCAR fans everywhere, Exide will donate all profits to Give Kids the World Foundation.
The special edition 50th anniversary NASCAR jacket. Look for details wherever Exide NASCAR Select is sold.
Nice jacket.
It's pro football time at 8:15 tonight on ESPN from Arrowhead Stadium. The Chiefs against the Oakland Raiders. And then tomorrow night on ABC, the defending Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos host Drew Bledsoe and the New England Patriots. Football tonight and tomorrow night. ESPN and ABC, the exclusive home of the NFL in prime time. Boy, the stands are filled here as this race is now 44 laps old. The Pennzoil Copter Cam with these overhead shots. Jeff Burton continues to hang on to about a little over a half-second lead. Dale Jarrett with Mark Martin running in third position. Here you can get an idea of the egg-shaped oval here at Darlington.
Well, I mentioned just a moment ago, and you see, we're looking at the big end, and away from you is the small end. And you see that pond back here. This pond, that's why the racetrack is egg-shaped, because they did not want to disturb that pond when they built the racetrack back in the late 40s.
Here comes Jeff Burton continuing to move through traffic. He's coming up on Steve Grissom, who's showing some different colors this week in the 41 car. He is running in 29th position. Rusty Wallace, John Andretti, and Jeremy Mayfield are battling for position 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And we see here comes Jeremy on the inside of John Andretti. Now, surely Rusty is going to fight him too hard, and he comes up behind him. Watch him run through the middle of that corner, right up against that wall, up to the high side, trying to make that green racetrack grip. And this is where he is really getting through the corner. He really gets through this corner here when Rusty goes up. Jeremy, watch as he comes off this one. Let's not be a very good test here, because Rusty will be in front of him, and he can't really let the car roll through there. But trust me when I tell you, he's really getting through that corner.
And he's really moving down the straightaway, too, and taking over the 6th position from teammate Rusty Wallace. And here comes John Andretti also to the inside of Rusty.
Yeah, Rusty's car is getting looser and looser as those tires get older and older. He'll welcome that first pit stop.
Well, we'll check his telemetry and see how the car is performing now compared to a few laps ago. Of course, as we continue here, the tires get worse and worse.
And we hear Rusty almost off the throttle, almost all the way through the corner. Watch as he goes down the straightaway. He's only able to get up to 168 mile per hour top speed. Down to 122 miles per hour in the corner. You know Rusty's dying. Man, I want 4 tires so bad I can't stand it.
And Ricky Rudd is in to take on 4 tires. He's had enough.
49 laps he ran on that first set.
And we see an adjustment made on the Panhard bar, or rear sway bar.
And Ricky had just gone a lap down, so he decided, okay, it's time to come into the pits.
And in 17.7 seconds, the car is full of gas, 4 new tires, and Ricky Rudd is back in competition.
That's a great pit stop. See Ted Musgrave and Bobby Labonte.
There's Derek Cope in the car number 30.
That's a battle for 18th, 19th, and 20th. And Bobby Labonte looked like his $1 million is going out the window. He has struck. Well, I shouldn't say that, because they haven't made a pit stop yet. They might be able to make some changes on that first pit stop. We'll get this Interstate Batteries Pontiac running, but right now he is struggling almost a lap behind the leaders.
Here's a Napa Field summary for you, and Bill Weber has more.
You're not kidding, they're struggling. Bobby Labonte's car is extremely tight. He's not very pleased with it right now. They are going to try and obviously loosen that up. 4 tires and a chassis adjustment when he comes in. They haven't decided exactly how to do it. But Labonte very tight right now.
And he's struggling to hold on to that position as Derek Cope is trying to get it away from him. The Joe Gibbs team announced this weekend they will have Home Depot sponsorship on the NASCAR Winston Cup car that will be driven next year by Tony Stewart.
See Terry Labonte back there. He is in 22nd spot. But Terry started way back in 35th, so he has moved forward. Now we see Labonte, Bobby losing a couple of spots, or at least one spot to Derek Cope.
There are 25 cars on the lead lap, and Jeff Burton coming up on 2 of them, Kenny Irwin and Johnny Benson and about to put a lap on them, and they're not far in front of this group or far behind this group right here.
Also, I'm sorry, Mike Skinner, also the 31 car is now a lap down, so looks like his million might be going out the window.
There's Burton on the right and Kenny Irwin on the left. Irwin crashed during his qualifying run and had to start back in the rear of the field. We've completed 53 of 367 laps at Darlington, South Carolina.
While some off-road tires may take you there, Coopers are designed to also bring you back. Cooper, your next set of tires.
GEX, the area's Cooper tire store with locations in Hampton and Newport News, featuring free mounting, free computer balancing, free air valves, free rotations, and free flat repairs on every tire sold. Look to GEX for your next set of tires.
If you've been injured, we'd like to help. Yes, we'd like to help. Joe Stewart, attorney at law, is the one to know.
If you've been injured due to someone's negligence, you need the support of an experienced attorney. Joe Stewart is the one to know.
Joe Stewart is the one to know.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, ladies and gents, with the Raiders and the Chiefs.
He's not a pirate, you stoop. He's a Raider.
He's a bloodthirsty pirate, a swashbuckler. He's ready for battle.
Yeah, but he's wearing an eye patch. He can't even see straight.
He's got a knife in his mouth. He's fearsome.
The knife isn't in his mouth. It's through his helmet.
Another good point.
Is everyone against me?
ESPN Sunday Night Football, the Raiders against the Chiefs. Coverage begins at 8:15.
As you rejoin us, the leader of the race, Jeff Burton, car number 99, is attempting to pass the 22nd place car of Brett Bodine. Well, we told you that Jeff Burton and Dale Jarrett were potential spoilers for the drivers that are eligible for a $1 million bonus here this afternoon. At the end of 57 laps, they're first and second.
We saw Terry Labonte going into the pits. He was about to be lapped. He was in 21st position. A lot of cars making pit stops. And we said as soon as they go a lap down, they'll come into the pits, put on tires, and that way they can go out there and run a lot faster than the leaders. Then when the leaders have to come in, well, they'll gain a lot of that position back and then hope for a caution. So, you know, it can work. Here's Labonte in the pits, and he's on the backstretch making a chassis adjustment on his Kellogg Chevrolet. Of course, they'll change all 4 tires. We'll see that on all of the pit stops here, at least in the first 3/4 of the race. Changing all 4 tires.
This really creates a pretty dangerous situation because when Terry Labonte gets back on the racetrack, he's going to be running with cars that are 2 seconds a lap slower than he is. And those cars may be the leaders of the race, but they're in fact slower than Terry Labonte. And when he tries to go by them, sometimes we can have a bad situation with the disparity in speed.
But that car feels so good to him for 10 or 15 laps. Here is Kenny Irwin in. He had gone a lap down. He's the leading rookie contender so far this year in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series.
Has only raced 1 time here at Darlington in NASCAR Winston Cup competition. He started 5th and finished 39th. John Kernan.
Kenny Irwin's car was extremely loose. He couldn't get on the gas, so they made a chassis adjustment. Also, there will be a chassis adjustment for Ted Musgrave, who had moved up to the 20th position after starting back in the 32nd spot with Bud Moore's team. Right side work is already done. Second can of fuel going in. He's full of fuel. Now the tires, left side's going on. Be cleaning off the grill. Waiting. A little bit of a problem with the left rear tire getting it on. Let's go to the front pit with Bill Weber. Mike Skinner's car has been very loose, so they'll try and tighten him up. He'll get 4 tires and fuel. Remember, at Darlington, you'll never, well, almost never, see a 2-tire stop. Gary McReynolds has been coaching Skinner from the very first lap. We're racing the track, he's been telling him, not the competition. Tires on. Skinner continues his pursuit of $1 million.
Kyle Petty is also stopped for 4 tires and gasoline. There comes Robert Presley down pit road. So here on the 61st lap, we're seeing a lot of pit stops. Robert Presley is in, and Kyle Petty now completes the work on the Hot Wheels Pontiac, and he goes back out onto the track. Jarrett also comes in. Down to Jerry Punch.
Dale Jarrett making his first scheduled pit stop for the day down at 55 miles per hour. They initially were just going to make an air pressure adjustment in the right front tire because DJ said the car was tight. Now they are going to make an adjustment if they have time with the track bar. Here is the Ford Credit Quality Care machine. Dale Jarrett trying to steal the opportunity for $1 million from 5 drivers, thinking this racetrack owes him one, and indeed it does. Right side tires already on. They've got a great pit stop going. Brad Parrott and the crew now. Left side tires are on. It's full of fuel. They pull it off the jack. He is down and away. Jeff Gordon also being worked on in the pits with the punt crew. Down and away. And here is our leader, Jeff Burton, the X-side Ford. Right side tires. They told me a moment ago they were not going to make any adjustments whatsoever on the 99 car. It was a little bit tight in turn 3 and 4. Otherwise, the car was perfect around the racetrack. Now left side tires. Frankie Tyler and the X-side crew on Jeff Burton's X-side Ford. Let's go to Bill in the Earnhardt pit.
Dale Earnhardt already has right side tires. They make a wedge adjustment on the left rear. Left side tires going on. They wanted to tighten him up just a little bit. Dale Earnhardt is back out. Terry.
Left side tires on Rusty Wallace's Miller Ford. Rusty was very, very loose. They made a track bar adjustment, a wedge adjustment, and an air pressure adjustment. And he zooms back to turn 1.
Bill Elliott also comes in for a stop. Mark Martin is the leader of the race. He has not yet come in for a stop.
No, but I expect you'll be coming in pretty soon, Bob. In fact, you'll be coming in this lap. He stayed out there to lead 8 laps, so he'd get 5 bonus Winston Cup bonus points.
Watch Bill Elliott's crew go to work.
Chassis adjustment being made on the car. Left side's coming off. Drink cup gets thrown on the racetrack. And away goes Elliott.
Well, Mark Martin is coming down. Jerry's in front of you.
It's a brand new race car for Mark Martin here in the Southern 500. And they have a superb pit stop going. The 43 car of John Andretti, Mr. Consistency the past month in NASCAR races with all those top 10 finishes. Martin is down and away. A great pit stop, 18.4 seconds for the 6th car. Andretti getting left side tires, and now the SCP Pontiac moves down pit road.
All of these pit stops are being made under green flag conditions. We have not yet been interrupted by a caution. The leader of the race, well, we cycle back to Jeff Burton. All pit stops have now been completed, and Jeff Burton is the leader of the race once again. Well, pit stops, of course, are fast and furious. Let's look at this one from the crew cam. Jeremy Mayfield's tire changer.
M4, fit with him, Jeff.
Saw a little bit of flame there on the right front brake. Gives you an indication of how hard they ride the brakes through the corners here at Darlington. But Mayfield is finished with his pit stop and comes out in the 5th position. But Burton is ahead of Jarrett by 2.5 seconds. Jeff Gordon now 3rd, Ward Burton 4th, and Mayfield 5th.
Flip log day 1 on the road in the air to cover Major League Baseball.
It's the year of the home run, my friends. Jack City. We're watching the big boys launch the long-range missiles over and over again, higher and higher. In fact, this ball right here is a ball that Mark McGuire launched into the propeller of the Bud 1 airship, proving that he is the Red Menace.
Hey, man, call the FAA. These guys are a threat to our airspace.
As Napa drivers, you're responsible for safely delivering the best parts in the world. So I brought in a special guest instructor, Ron Hornaday, NASCAR Truck Series champion.
You want to go to the turns about 130.
What's a safe distance to be from the guy in front of you?
5 inches. It's called drafting.
Oh?
All right, get in the truck. I'm going to have to show you. You getting all this down?
They're going to can me for this.
Hi, I'm looking for Pine Street.
Go down to the fork in the road. Right, but make sure you take the left fork. Right. Then you see a big brown dog. Keep straight. 2 blocks down the street, you see a man named Slappy selling maps. Well, don't buy one. You already got one. Right. Hang a right at Slappy. That's a left, right? A right. Left. Right. Right. Keep straight. Watch out for the goat. Then you see a big McDonald's and... Right. Did somebody say McDonald's? Aren't you glad we brought you here?
I'm glad.
Hey, just stack that stuff over there, Jim.
What is this stuff anyway?
Riot gear. Berman goes nowhere without it. Bristol students are serious football fans, and they can get pretty upset when things don't go their way.
Do you remember the day they added the 2-point conversion? Those campus radicals, they stormed the dean's office.
No, there was no darker day in Bristol's history than when the Broncos changed their uniform.
400 Bristol students are to complete soldiers.
He hasn't been the same since.
NFL Countdown, Sundays at 11, Mondays at 6:30 on ESPN.
Hope you're enjoying the race. I'm Linda Cohn in the ESPN studios, and of course we want to keep you updated on that other race. You know, the home run chase taking place. Mark McGuire takes his whacks against the Reds later on this afternoon. We'll keep you updated, but right now in Pittsburgh, Sammy Sosa facing the Pirates, and in his first at bat against Chris Peters, he strikes out on a 2-2 pitch. Again, we'll keep you updated on Sosa and McGuire throughout the day, throughout the race. And don't forget, you can see Big Mac face the Cubs on Labor Day afternoon at 2 Eastern. But now, back to Bob Jenkins in Darlington.
Thank you, Linda, and we will continue to watch that chase for history. If there's a home run this afternoon by either of the players, you will see it here on ESPN. There's no reason to go anywhere else on the worldwide leader in sports. We're at Darlington, South Carolina for the Pepsi Southern 500, where 5 drivers are going for $1 million. Their idea of a home run.
But this leader of the race, Jeff Burton, is not one of them.
And he is pulling away.
Remember, he and Dale Jarrett, who are running 1-2 right now, neither of these cars have a chance to win the $1 million today. And remember how well they ran at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and Jeff Burton made the pit stop, broke the pinion on pit road, and Dale Jarrett ran out of fuel. Had it not been for that, these guys, both of them, would have a chance today to pick up that $1 million bonus.
As it stands right now, the driver running best among those eligible for the No Bull $5 million is Jeff Gordon, who is in 3rd position, a little over 9 seconds behind Jeff Burton. Well, that's a pretty good record, isn't it, when the money's on the line?
I'll say. And right now, Bob, he is one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. After they made that pit stop, made some adjustments. His last lap was faster than either Burton or Jarrett, and he has closed down what was about a 10.5-second deficit to about 9.5.
He has won the last 3 straight Pepsi Southern 500s, going for 4 in a row here this afternoon. There's another No Bull car, the Mark Martin, number 6, who's in 4th position at the moment. Right behind him, the silver and green Ward Burton car.
And Ward Burton had just lost that position to Mark Martin in the last lap. Mark Martin was, as Ned said, the leader of the race. He stayed out a couple extra laps to lead that race, and it really cost him in track position because those 2 laps that he ran, he lost 5 or 6 seconds to Jeff Burton. Jeremy Mayfield's 12 car, he is currently in 6th place, started back in 27th. And he right now, as I said, in 6th place, but he's 16 seconds behind. So in the exchange of pit stops, he has lost about 7 or 8 seconds to the leader, Jeff Burton.
Ooh. 16 seconds is about a half a lap, as we see these guys really mix it up. Heavy traffic.
Kenny Irwin, also the 81 of Kenny Wallace is in there. Now Mike Skinner there in the 31 car is also in the hunt for the $1 million bonus. He, however, is a lap down, back in 28th spot.
They were told in the drivers' meeting, guys, you got to give, you got to give. There's got to be a lot of give and take. Well, Rusty Wallace is taking right now, and the other guys gave.
And I'm glad they did. Another guy who's having a good run here this afternoon is Sterling Marlin in the number 40 car. He's currently in 8th position, and right behind him is Dale Earnhardt, or between Earnhardt and Marlin is Skinner. Now Skinner gives way and Earnhardt passes.
Earnhardt in 9th place. Sterling Marlin right in front of him. They're in the 40 car. He's in 8th.
Now Sterling's able to dispose of the car of Robert Presley. See, coming in the background there's John Andretti. He's back in 10th spot. Started so well, but evidently had a, I don't know if he's a bad pit stop or a slow pit stop or why, but now he's fallen back to 10th spot.
He's had 6 top 10 finishes in the last 8 races, and that has moved him to a tie with Ken Schrader for 10th in the point standings. Has gone a lap down in 15th spot, so 14 cars are now on the lead lap, and Burton is moving through the field, isn't he?
And the next car right in front of him is Ernie Urban. He is running in 14th position, and it won't be long until he's going to be a lap down.
No, it certainly isn't. Look at Jeff Burton just turn the car left, and the car turns.
Well, that's what you dream of on this racetrack. Whoops. Some trouble here on turn 4. Jimmy Spencer.
He loops it and continues on. However, the caution is out.
Now, Terry Labonte looks like he's going to, I don't know if the leaders got the, I don't think they got the yellow flag. Terry Labonte has passed the 99 car back. Ernie Urban had not been passed, so they're going to stay in the lead lap, it looks like.
Here is Labonte ahead of Burton as they come back to the stripe. Our first caution flag is waving on the 82nd lap, and indeed, Urban and Terry Labonte were able to come to the line ahead of Burton.
I don't know if Chad Little is going to get his lap back or not. I know the Labonte and Ernie Urban will get his lap back. I'm not sure that they'll allow Chad to have that lap back.
And Chad is several laps down. He has made 2 green flag pit stops, so he was a couple of laps down. He had just made a pit stop about 5 or 6 laps ago.
Okay, let's take a look at turn number 4 and see what happened to Jimmy Spencer to bring out our first caution.
There we see the leaders coming off the corner, and we see Spencer and Dale Jarrett. Around Spencer goes, and fortunately at this point, Bobby Labonte just misses Jimmy Spencer. All the other cars dive to the apron of the racetrack, and fortunately the cars are running slow enough that you can stop before you back in the fence.
Rick Mast drove through the incident. Saw the opening at the bottom of the track on the apron and went for it.
I don't believe he hit anything.
I don't believe he did either. I see just a little bit of tire mark there where it says Zippo. That might have been some contact there. I don't know. And you know, all the leaders come down pit road.
So for the second time now this afternoon, the first time under caution, those on the lead lap come down. Bill Weber.
Jeremy Mayfield 6th on the track, but first in the pits. Just a tick loose, no air pressure adjustment, no chassis adjustment. They want the tires to come in. They're hoping they'll do that in the caution laps. Then Jeremy will be as fast as he's been under green. So Mayfield gets his 4 tires and fuel, then he'll continue out. He's got one of the very first pit stalls here on pit road. We'll have to make the trip all the way down pit road where Jerry Punch is.
Right side tires have already gone on Jeff Burton's car. They are trying to clean the grill off, and Ronnie Allen is down and away as he heads toward the end of pit road. The Jarrett car number 88 of Jarrett is down. The 24 and 99 are running side by side down pit road.
16.5-second pit stop for Dale Jarrett. A great pit stop by those guys, and they have him out first. 94 car of Bill Elliott having a little bit of problems. Now he moves back out onto the racetrack. 83 laps into the Southern 500.
Hey, you want to win some cool stuff? A Chevy Monte Carlo, trips, a Pepsi racing jacket. It's the Pepsi Triple Challenge. For a chance to win, guess the driver who leads the most laps after all 3 races and the number of laps led. Let's review. Guess the driver who leads the most laps after all 3 races. So winner by mail, the internet, or the NCI toll-free number.
Hey, Bob, can I win that Monte Carlo?
Right, 24, man, like you need a ride. So, go for it, fans. This one's for us.
It's time for a Pepsi Triple Challenge update. At the Pepsi 400 in Michigan, Ernie Urban was not only the pole sitter, but he was also the driver who led the most laps, leading the pack around the 2-mile oval 115 times. Mark Martin was second with 57 laps led, and race winner Jeff Gordon only led 9 laps, but they were the most important laps, the final 9. Watch for the next Pepsi Triple Challenge update Saturday night in Richmond.
The year was 1923. The automobile was changing America, and Purolator invents the oil filter, coining the phrase, pure oil now, pure oil later. Purolator. And the rest is history. After all, we invented the business.
Hi, I'm Ken Strader, and I'm Mike Wallace. We'd like to congratulate Purolator on 75 years in business and your involvement in racing. You've been there for the sport, and you've been there for the customer. So happy anniversary, Purolator, and congratulations on 75 years of being the leader.
In 1948, NASCAR began sanctioning auto races. Its steady growth down through the years has made it the most popular form of motorsports in America today. NASCAR's 50th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR. $5,800. Amazingly, that's what NASCAR's first champion, Red Byron, won on his way to the 1949 Grand National Stock Car title. The King, Richard Petty, was NASCAR's first to earn $1 million in a career. In fact, in 1971, he became the first to make over $200,000 in a season, pushing him over the $1 million mark. A new milestone was reached in 1985 when Bill Elliott won $1 million in a single race, the Winston Million, here in the Southern 500. It was one of 11 races that he would win that year. 12 years later, in 1997, Jeff Gordon won here at Darlington to become only the second man to win the coveted Winston Million. Today at Darlington, 5 different men have a shot and can take their place in history as million-dollar winners as we settle up the No Bull 5. Yeah, the Winston Million program is gone. It's been replaced by the No Bull 5. 5 drivers here today eligible for a $1 million bonus. Let's take a look at where they are running. Jeff Gordon is the best. He's running 3rd. Mark Martin 5th. Earnhardt 8th. Bobby Labonte 18th. And Mike Skinner 22nd.
And, you know, there were 5 fans today had a chance to pick up $1 million. Jeff Gordon reached in the pot, picked out Jim Chorman of Staten Island, New York. He walked away from Darlington with $1 million.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Wow.
Okay, 1 lap to go, and we'll go back to racing.
Talked about King Richard Petty in that little piece that we just aired for you. He was inducted into the National Motorsports Press Association Hall of Fame last night, where Ned and Benny already are. And speaking of Ned, it was, what, 33 years ago on this very day, Ned, back in 1965, that you whooped them bad here at Darlington by 14 laps over Buck Baker.
I'd like to say that I outran them that badly, Bob, but that was not the case. You know, I talked about at the top of the show today about rubber coming off of tires and getting into the grills and the radiator and causing overheating problems. Everybody had problems that day, and overheating was just a major, major situation. My car overheated as well, but I was able to nurse it to the finish. But that's what allowed me to get that good.
Bill Weber has a report on Bobby Labonte.
It's been a difficult day as Bobby Labonte chases $1 million for the 4th time this season. First, his car was too tight, so on their first pit stop, they loosened it up. But it was too loose, and again, he was fighting the car, getting it around this track. So on that last pit stop, they made an air pressure adjustment. They also put a spring rubber in the right front tire. They'll see if that'll help Bobby Labonte. Let's check on his brother with John.
Terry Labonte told his crew after the caution came out, he says, hey, we owe Jeff Burton one because Jeff Burton let me go by. So they said, yeah, we'll remember that. On the pit stop, 4 tires, the car was been very, very loose. They tightened it up with air pressure, and also they pushed in the right front fender and added some wedge.
All right, here we go. The green flag is out. There was a battle off pit road between Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon. As you can see, they gave it to Burton. He's 2nd. Gordon is 3rd as the green flag flies again.
Jeff Gordon going by Kyle Petty. Kyle, Hot Wheels car, is currently running in 17th. He's a lap down. You see Jeff Burton trying to get by the 16 car, Kevin LePage. There we see Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, And Mark Martin is now the 5th place car.
And they have an opportunity to make some more adjustments on those cars during this caution flag pit stop. So we'll see who it works for and who it works against.
There's Mark Martin running in 5th spot right now. Only one car is shown out of the race. 42 are still on the racetrack. The car shown out is the number 15 car of Ted Musgrave.
And Musgrave had a pretty good running going in. He was about in the top 20, I believe. The Page moves over, lets the faster cars or the cars on the lead lap go by. Jeremy Mayfield was one of those cars.
And Bobby Labonte is not on the lead lap. Here comes Mark Martin to the inside, and there is the battle for the lead, and Jeff Burton has closed right in. Let's get a report on Ted Musgrave from John Kernan.
Well, as you mentioned, Bob, Ted is pulling behind the wall into the garage area here on the backstretch as Jeff Burton takes the lead out on the racetrack. Ted, looked like for a minute there you might have had the problem solved. What's wrong with the engine?
I'll tell you what, John, no luck here, you know. Rescue 4 Taurus is running good. We came right from the back, and I think I passed more cars than anybody for a while there, but motor started missing. I'm not quite sure if it was a rocker arm, broke valve spring, something in that order. So, you know, there's no sense keep going out there, blow the motor or whatever and cause a big disturbance, and you're only in the wave on 7 cylinders, but not my luck today. You know, I love Darlington, and I wish I could have done really good for Bud Moore. I'll drive my heart out, but not anymore.
What about next week? You got a ride yet for Richmond?
Yeah, I think I'm going to help out Bud McCall. He asked me if I could maybe do a little deal for him at Richmond. And like I said, just having fun for the rest of the season here, trying to help these guys out. I just wish they'd finish.
Ted Musgrave with a smile that he's done for the day.
He did have a second-place finish here in March of 1997, and the last time he led a NASCAR Winston Cup race was here last year in this event.
And Dale Earnhardt goes by Ward Burton, takes over the 7th spot.
The car that Musgrave used to drive, the 16 Prime Star car, has just fallen off the pace with Kevin LePage.
Yeah, the entire field passed him in about a lap and a half, Bob, so I don't know if it's engine problems or what it is, but he is very slow.
Kevin has had good runs in this car. Bill Weber, what's the problem?
Bob, he's got a definite miss. They're not sure. They're hoping, of course, that a plug wire just came off, but right now they're not certain, but he definitely has a miss in the engine compartment.
And Mark Martin tried to take the 4th spot away from Rusty Wallace and couldn't get the job done. He closes in and tries it once again. There's an update on the manufacturer's battle in progress. There's the Ford leaderboard. Pretty good. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And put the 6 in front of the 2. And there's the Chevy leaderboard with Jeff Gordon the best.
As you saw, Rusty didn't fight Mark when he came up. Mark had gotten up beside of him once before, a lap ago, and he knew that Mark's car was a little bit faster now, so he said, okay, I'll just settle in here and try to stay in contention. And Ford has led all the laps here so far today.
That's right. We have had 4 different leaders. Jeff Burton has led 67 laps, Jarrett 15, Wallace 11, and Mark Martin has led 2 circuits. And LePage is in the pits, Bill.
And they're looking under the hood. As you can plainly see, they've got a second set of plug wires. They're going to try and attach if needed. Right now, they're checking to make sure all 8 are attached. Underneath the hood, still looking. So Kevin LePage sits here on pit road. They really weren't concerned about trying to win this race. They wanted to get him as many laps as possible. Now they're going to try and get him back up to speed so he can continue to learn here at Darlington.
Had a good battle going on here for 10th, 11th, and 12th. John Andretti. There's Ken Schrader running in the 11th position. And Jeff Bodine is in 12th.
And both those cars in front of Jeff Bodine are a lap down, Kyle Petty and Johnny Benson. But it looks like they're running fast enough to stay in that position. Once again, we're watching the Tabasco hot zone from Jeff Bodine's car.
believe Jeff's running a good bit higher gear here than Mark Martin. Although he gets up to about 80, a little over 8,300 there, but we saw Mark getting up to 85. And of course, it could be a difference in speed on the racetrack.
All right, we'll leave Jeff Bodine and jump in with Mark Martin and compare the two telemetry.
Right on board, Mark Martin, a Valvoline onboard camera.
Getting into turn 3 here now.
Ever so 8,500 RPMs down in that corner. And Kevin LePage is back on the racetrack, and obviously his problem has not been solved as Mark Martin passed him like he was a tree.
So over 8,500 RPMs once again for Mark as he went into turn 1.
Right up against an outside retaining wall. And comes back across the racetrack.
Teammates Jeremy Mayfield and Rusty Wallace are running in the 5th and 6th position. And Jeremy, it seems, is running a higher line than, look at him get way up by the wall.
He's found a spot that his car will work up there, and it doesn't abuse the tires nearly as much when he runs that high. He knows that. So you can see now Rusty, he's got up almost 8,700 RPM.
But boy, there's a thin line there between running up where you want to and getting into the fence.
Exactly right. I mean, you know, the bigger you make this racetrack, really, the easier, as Ned said, you can be on the tires, and you get a better grip up there than you will on the bottom of the racetrack. But you have to be awfully careful not to go up and bounce the thing off the wall.
Jeremy 5th and Rusty in 6th position as Jeff Burton continues to lead here at Darlington with a little over a 1.5-second lead over Dale Jarrett. We'll be back with more live coverage from Darlington in just a moment.
Who's that, Grandma?
That would have been your great-uncle Floyd. About 65 years ago, he was playing hide-and-seek with his friends. And they never found him.
If you're gonna play to win,
Nobody found me.
play to win. If you're gonna have roast beef, have roast beef. Hardee's tender roast beef, specially seasoned, oven roasted, fresh sliced to order.
You're gonna go? Go all out.
Break through to the new world of Mach 3 from Gillette, the first triple blade shaving system. 3 blades specially positioned to shave progressively closer. You take 1 stroke, it takes 3. So you don't have to shave the same area over and over, which means less irritation. 3 blades, fewer strokes, less irritation. Mach 3 from Gillette.
Nobody loves cars more than I do. Each one is a work of art. So when the maker of all these chose a new antifreeze, it got my attention.
General Motors now uses the deck school technology of Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze in virtually all its new vehicles. The same patented formula you can use in your car for 5 years or 150,000 miles. So do what GM did. Switch to Haviland.
I use it in my car. I only wish this were it.
ESPN SpeedWorld today at Darlington, South Carolina. There isn't a seat to be had anywhere as the fans have turned out once again for this Labor Day weekend tradition since 1950, the Pepsi Southern 500. Jeff Burton is the leader of the race right now with Dale Jarrett running in 2nd position. Here are where the Noble 5 drivers are running. Those eligible for a $1 million bonus if they can win. Gordon and Martin 3rd and 4th. Earnhardt is 6th. Bobby Labonte is a lap down, and so is Mike Skinner.
And just as you said that, Dale Earnhardt moved into the 6th spot. Put Rusty Wallace back to 7th. And we see John Andretti. His struggles continue as Jeff Bodine goes by on the outside, takes over the 10th spot.
But up front, we have Jeff Burton, who finished 5th in the spring race here at Darlington. He's the only driver to have 3 top 5s in the last 3 Darlington races.
Ned was talking about, you know, the tire, the rubber getting in the grills of the car and making it overheat and what have you. This was turn 2 at lap 14. Or is this turn 5? I guess it's turn 4 at lap 14. Now check it out, turn 2. Check it out at lap 102. And you see the rubber there on the racetrack? That's what Ned was talking about. That's what gets in the grills of the cars and in the radiators and causes them to overheat, especially on a 95-degree day. Now this buildup will just continue to get worse as the day goes on.
Here's Rusty Wallace coming up to challenge Dale Earnhardt for 6th spot. Bill Weber has more on Dale Earnhardt.
Well, it has been vintage Earnhardt so far. Not a complaint at all about the race car. Just a little bit loose. They tightened up just a bit on that first pit stop, but really they haven't done anything else. Gordon going around Jarrett. But this is the same car that Earnhardt ran last week in the race at Loud. He was forced to run this car because he crashed his primary car in practice. This is an in-house designed car. They tested it at Richmond. Earnhardt liked it so much, he said, let's bring it to Darlington. So far, so good.
Doing a good job running in 6th position at the moment at the end of 110 laps.
He is about 11.6 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton.
That buildup also is on our camera lens down there in turn number 4.
And Rusty Wallace decided, well, I don't think Earnhardt's going as fast as I want to go, so I think I'll try leading this train again.
Dale has $1 million waiting for him if he can win the race. He, of course, won this year at Daytona, the Daytona 500.
Looks like those cars are awfully evenly matched, the 2 and the 3. Rusty Wallace in 2 and Dale Earnhardt in 3.
Earnhardt has won 9 times here at Darlington. Rusty has never won here.
And remember when the caution flag, the only caution flag we've had today came out, Ernie Irvin was just about a lap down. Well, check him out. He's still in the lead lap, and he's trying to battle for 12th spot right now with John Andretti. Better make that 11th spot he's trying to battle for.
Started back in 26th position and has made up half of those positions already. He's been as high as 11th. There's Bill Elliott, the 94 car. He's still on the lead lap also in 14th position.
Check it out. He was the last Southern 500 winner before Jeff Gordon started winning all the Southern 500s back in 1994. Gordon won in 95, 96, and 97.
Elliott has won a total of 5 times on this racetrack, 2 spring races, and he's won this race 3 times. And Mark Martin is now turning up the heat just a little bit as he closes in on Dale Jarrett. That would be for 3rd position. Jarrett in 3rd right now, and Mark wanting it. Lead continues to be held by Jeff Burton.
Whose tires offer great handling and traction, plus precision cornering? Cooper. Precisely. Cooper, your next set of tires.
GEX, the area's Cooper tire store with locations in Hampton and Newport News, featuring free mounting, free computer balancing, free air valves, free rotations, and free flat repairs on every tire sold. Look to GEX for your next set of tires.
Sosa, chasing history. Catch key games, plus all the news every night on ESPN and ESPN2. From the Wednesday night doubleheaders to Baseball Tonight to SportsCenter, we're on top of McGuire, Sosa, and every other story in baseball. With key games, live cut-ins, and continuous updates. It's the most exciting race in baseball. Maybe ever. Labor Day, Sosa and McGuire, head-to-head, Cubs and Cards. Tomorrow, 1:30 on ESPN.
Linda Cohn in the ESPN studios updating you on the home run chase to Pittsburgh. Sammy Sosa struck out in his first at bat against Chris Peters. His second at bat was a good pitch, but with that, he got on with an error. So he's 0 for 2 so far. Cubs with the bases loaded in a scoreless game. We'll keep you posted on Sammy as well as Mark McGuire, who you'll see on ESPN beginning at 2 Eastern on Labor Day. Back to Darlington now and Bob Jenkins.
All right, Linda, so Sammy hasn't hit one yet today. Look at the hitters against the probable pitchers in tomorrow's game here on ESPN. Sosa against Morris and McGuire against Morgan. You'll want to be tuned as we chase history. McGuire and Sosa going for the home run title tomorrow afternoon. 5 drivers here chasing history also as $1 million is up for grabs. There is Jeff Burton, who is not among those eligible for the No Bull $5 million. However, Jeff Gordon, who is about 3 3/4 seconds behind Jeff, is one of those eligible.
And the guy 3 seconds behind Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, he also is eligible. Ever see Jeff Gordon going by? There comes Mark Martin by. Dale Jarrett is back in the 4th spot. Jerry Fudge, what's going on with DJ?
Guys, 8 laps ago, Dale Jarrett radioed in and said, guys, I'm a little bit loose entering the corner. 6 laps ago, he came back on the radio and said, I'm a little bit looser. 2 laps ago, he came by and said, I'm real loose. Guys, I think he's loose.
Well, it certainly reflects that because he was running in 2nd position, and now he's back to 4th.
One thing that has happened here, we've talked about there being somewhat of a cloud cover over when the race started, and now the sun is shining down on the racetrack, and cars that were a little tight in the beginning would just naturally loose up. But I'm sure that they made some adjustments on that car to loosen it up. Now that the sun has come out, it's probably working against them.
Watching Jeremy Mayfield here in 5th position as he puts another lap on Rick Mast in the 75. And here comes Dale Earnhardt, who is in 6th position.
Well, Earnhardt is not too shabby today. Michael Waltrip looks back in that orange, that pink car right behind him. Yep, folks, that's Jeff Burton, the lead of the race, as he comes off turn 2. Michael Waltrip's back in 26th spot, but he's going another lap down.
He is now 2 laps down to the leader. Elliott Sadler, by the way, will be the driver of the Wood Brothers car in NASCAR Winston Cup competition next year. Here's a Hardee's Field summary for you. Everybody staying the same in the points position right now. Kenny Schrader moving up 1, breaking the tie with John Andretti and moving into sole possession of 10th position. And they really change as you get back here. Bobby Hamilton has been struggling all afternoon. He's back in 28th position and is 2 laps down. Boy, Trickle was outstanding in that Busch race here yesterday, wasn't he?
Sure was, beating Dale Earnhardt Jr. by about 3 inches as they raced back to the caution flag, but he's not doing too swift today.
4 laps down now. He's in the 40th position. Of course, Dick wrecked his primary car in happy hour here yesterday afternoon, had to go to a backup car. And here's Jeff Gordon. He is gaining. He has cut that lead down on Jeff Burton. Don't know if it's because of traffic or not, but look how he's been cutting that deficit down from 3.8 down to 2.1 in just 5 laps.
Well, we see they're about the same speed. Jeff Burton ran 32.4 and Jeff Gordon ran a 32.3. But Burt's problem here is this 33 fast, 33.5. That's traffic. And here, when you pass a car, it's going to cost you a second about each time. Unless you're just lucky enough to catch him on the straightaway and go by. But it doesn't seem like that happens like this.
We'll check the speeds at the line here and see who's going quickest.
Well, now Jeff Gordon's caught up in that traffic, and so is Mark Martin. We get back to a car that is by itself, and he probably will run 152 miles an hour. But so far, we haven't found one to run by himself, have we? These cars are slowed down to this speed. That's really amazing.
As they grind that rubber off the tires, the track is getting slicker, and since the sun has come out, that makes it even slicker and scrubs the speed off too, to scrub that rubber off the tires.
Burton and Mayfield first and second in terms of speed that last lap. Now this lap, so far, it is Mark Martin. And again, that indicates that he's probably running in pretty clean traffic. Here he comes up on Rich Bickle.
See, now he can't go in that corner like he normally would, and that's going to really rob him of speed. Probably about 3/4 of a second this lap.
So he was fastest last lap. Let's see how he does this time. Yeah, see? Isn't even going to make the top three.
And bad news for the competitors is Jeff Burton is 2.5 miles an hour faster than the next car.
Boy, it's been a fine ride for this guy here so far this afternoon as he comes up to put a lap on Terry Labonte, who's in 15th position. We'll be back with more live coverage in just a moment of the Pepsi Southern 500. They're the top 10 after 128 laps.
You change your oil every 3,000 miles, right? You don't, do you? You push it. Now you're so busy you try to squeeze another 1,000 miles out of your oil. Or more. Well, squeeze this. To do it yourself when you have the time. Reformulated Quaker State. Protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. Anybody say insurance? It's been tested. And unlike that lazy uncle nobody really likes to talk about, it works. So go get some. Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
This is the new Trans Am. And it's very hungry. The muscle car lives. The new Firebird Trans Am by Pontiac.
It starts here. It starts here. It also starts here and here. And it all starts right here at Walmart, home of the EverStart battery. All the coal-cranking power your truck, car, boat, or more will ever need. Power you can count on when you need it most. And since it's at Walmart, you can also count on a good price. EverStart. The name says it all.
ESPN SpeedWorld live at Darlington, South Carolina for the Pepsi Southern 500, being brought to you by EverStart Battery. All the coal-cranking power your truck, car, boat, or mower will ever need. Available at Walmart. By Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. And by Quaker State for protection beyond 3,000 miles under any driving conditions. It is the race in which we may give away $1 million to one of 5 drivers. Let's check to see how those on the list are doing right now. There is Mark Martin passing Mike Skinner, who's having a bit of a struggle, and so is the 18 car of Bobby Labonte. Dale Earnhardt is doing well. There he just passed Rusty Wallace, and here is Jeff Gordon, who's doing the best of all, as Jeff now is second, about 3.5 seconds behind Jeff Burton. Martin is third, Earnhardt sixth, Labonte a lap down in 17th, and the 31 car of Skinner is 2 laps down in 21st. Wow. There you see an eligible driver's finish second in all but 3 Noble 5 races this year. There is Jeff Burton still on that high line out there, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Lets that car drift up right against that outside retaining wall.
And when he's out in clear traffic, he consistently is the fastest car on the racetrack. We had mentioned that Jeff Gordon had closed that lead down to about 2 seconds. Well, how about now? It's up to 4.3 seconds now.
As soon as Burton was able to clear himself of that heavy traffic that allowed Jeff Gordon to catch up, he opened it back up again as Gordon fought his way through that traffic.
Never a win here at Darlington, but Jeff has finished in the top 5 the last 3 races here, 4th, 2nd, and 5th.
When we talk about the tires, the new tires, and the difference in the speed, as we see Bill Elliott right in front of Jeff Burton. Bill Elliott is currently in 14th spot on the lead lap, so he hates to look up in the mirror and see Jeff Burton come. We talk about speed, and Jeff Burton right now is running 152 mile per hour average around this racetrack. He qualified at around 167 miles per hour. That's 15 miles an hour slower, simply because he has run, almost in contact between Burton and Elliott. He has run 30, 40 laps on these tires.
There are now 13 cars on the lead lap, and right ahead of the leader is Mike Skinner. Jerry, what's his problem?
Well, Bob, the car absolutely is just a huge handful for Mike Skinner right now. I talked to Larry McReynolds a moment ago. He said the car simply will not grip the racetrack. It's dancing all around the racetrack as Jeff Burton goes by in the X-side Ford to put Mike Skinner another lap behind. The car goes to the bottom of the racetrack and slides up across the car, loose going in, tight coming off, and then switches it ends and changes at the other end of the racetrack. In other words, the car is just very, very far off from what Mike Skinner would like to have today.
Skinner became eligible for the Noble 5 by finishing in the top 5 at Indianapolis. Here's Bill Weber.
And this could be the opening of routine pit stops. Kyle Petty is in first, getting 4 tires and fuel. They tore off the plastic cover on the windshield. They tightened the lug nuts, so Kyle Petty slides that car out of the stall and then returns to pit road.
Yeah, they've run about 55 laps, 56 laps now since they made their pit stop during that last caution. So we'll see a lot of pit stops coming up here from here on in.
Kevin LePage is also on pit road. He has been in and out several times. In fact, he is 23 laps down in 42nd position. They continue to work on that Prime Star car. Now have it ready to go again.
Still on, appears to be still on 6 or 7 cylinders. Never see Ernie Irvin. He saved being lapped the last time, just about the time that Jeff Burton passed him. The caution flag came out. He was able to get Burton back, but now he will go a lap down. A few moments ago, we see the Kenny Irwin car come up trying to pass Ernie Irvin as they come off turn 4. Come up and some contact between the two. Irwin still has the position. When he go down the corner, he just squeezes up and says, Ernie, don't be doing that to me again. So obviously,
they've had a few little skirmishes this year, and here is John Andretti in the pit, Jerry.
And they've already made 1 round of wedge adjustment in the right rear. Right side tires are on, left side tires are otherwise pretty routine pit stop. A lot of drivers complaining that their cars are loose coming off the corner. Here's the car number 22, Ward Burton, who's sitting on the outside front row of the NBNA Pontiac. And now Ricky Byers and company, Chris Hussinger, work on the right side of that car. A number of guys, once again, complaining that their cars are loose from the middle of the corner off. And as Ned said a little while ago, those are the same guys that were tight early in the race and made adjustments, but now the sun has come out. The cars are starting to dance a little bit sideways coming off the corner. Ward Burton is down and away. Let's go to John Curtis.
On the back pitch, Terry Labonte is in. Remember the last pit stop, they made air pressure and chassis adjustments to tighten the car because it's been very loose. Well, apparently they went too far because on this last run, the car's been just extremely tight. So they'll take a round out of the left rear, put on 4 tires, make air pressure adjustments, trying to loosen it up to Terry. And his brothers also struggle. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And Bobby Labonte returns after getting 4 tires and fuel. Remember, they added a spring rubber on the right front last time on his stop. They're trying to make that car better. But his chance at $1 million is pretty much out the window. Ken Schrader has also been on pit road. He's getting tires, right side tires going on first. So Schrader on pit road. Several other guys have stopped, waiting for some of the leaders to make their next stop.
Going over to the left side of the car now for Ken Schrader, as the car is full of fuel, and minutes down and 17.7 seconds.
That's a good pit stop.
Not a bad pit stop at all. We saw Jerry Nadeau leave the pits, the Cartoon Network Ford.
Rick Mast is also in his pit up near pit entrance off turn number 4. And here's Dale Jarrett slowing down, relinquishing the 4th position to make his pit stop. It's on lap 144, Jerry.
And remember, they're one of the guys who was tight early on, made an adjustment, and now the car has gotten very loose. They were talking about taking a rubber out of the right rear. Well, watch the crew now. Watch the right rear tire come off. See if they reach in and pull a rubber. Yeah, they can reach in and pull a rubber. The rubber comes out. Now they'll put the right rear tire back on. The car has been very loose in the pit. Now left side tire going on the Quality Care Ford. Brad Parrott, Todd Parrott, and the rest of the 8 crew. Left front, left rear, and in front with the left rear at the moment. Now he is down and away.
Mike Skinner is also in. He overshot his pit. They had to push him back. That delayed the stop by 2-3 seconds.
Now, Jarrett's pit stop that time was over 23 seconds. On the caution flag, made a pit stop of 16 seconds. It took him about 4 or 5 seconds extra to take that rubber out of that spring. So he'll hope that he can make up a lot of that on the racetrack.
Skinner goes out. Sterling Marlin comes in as the crew goes to work on the right side of the 40 car.
Sterling Marlin, the car in the top 10. And gave up about the 8th or 9th position when he came in. NASCAR inspector goes around and makes sure all this is done right. All the lug nuts are tight. Now the leader and the 2nd place car coming down pit road. Here comes Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon.
We'd be surprised to see Mark Martin follow them in as well. He stayed out there the other time to lead, get 5 bonus points, but let's go to the pits and Jerry Punch.
And remember that last stop, they were identical. They raced side by side down pit road. First on Jeff Burton, they're going to change to make an air pressure adjustment because they'll need more forward bite. Let's check in with Bill.
Jeremy Mayfield will get 4 tires. They'll also put in 2 rounds of wedge to try and tighten up his car. Jerry?
Left side tires are running on. They made an air pressure adjustment on the car number 24. He was loose from the middle off. Now he is down and away and pulls out in front of Bobby Hamilton. Here comes Jeremy Mayfield likewise down pit road.
He has a long way to come down, though, at 45 miles an hour. And now the 6 car of Mark Martin, who is in the lead, he gives it up to come in. Down to Jerry.
Right side tires. Martin again waiting about a lap and a half or 2 laps after his teammate had pitted. Great stop so far. Left side tires going only second to Earnhardt, taking Phil Weber.
Earnhardt has convinced his crew he's very, very loose. Wedge adjustment, 4 tires. Martin returns to the race. Left side tires being tight. The fuel is in. Now Earnhardt's on his way for $1 million.
Down pit road before he can accelerate and get back up on the racetrack.
Now he can accelerate. Once he goes up by that white line, he can accelerate and get back up to racing speed.
So, and again, green flag pit stops have just been completed here at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina, where we have live coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500.
Hey, Mr. Science, ever wonder what a hard-working engine goes through? It gets the high rev, and I drove over the mountain because it was there, crap kicked out of it. With abuse like that, you don't want to take chances. This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines made by guys with more college degrees than they've had dates. It's been tested. For pure maximum protection, there's nothing better. I wouldn't lie to you. They're not paying me enough. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
Ever think about the one, the only Pizza Hut pan, the holder of our favorite pizza? Yeah, we ooh and ah over the bubbling cheese and stuff, but do we ever compliment the pan? Thanks, pan, for making the crust so crispy and chewy. No, the pizza gets all the attention in the pan. Well, it gets washed. In honor of the forgotten pan, Pizza Hut is doing something unforgettable. For a very short time, a Supreme or up to 3 toppings pan pizza's just $8.99. $8.99. Oh, Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
We asked professional race car driver Scott Pruitt to test our Firehawk SH30 high-performance tires with Unit T. Unit T, the ultimate tire technology we've spent years perfecting. In fact, when it comes to designing performance tires for wet cornering, we've been around the block. The Firestone Firehawk SH30 with Unit T. Get a grip on wet cornering.
It's ESPN Sunday Night Football, ladies and gents. We kick things off with the Raiders and the Chiefs. ESPN Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins at 8:15.
Oh, see, I would watch that. This magazine captures the sizzle of sports, the glory, the joy, the faithfuls. I want the scoop on Terrell Davis. Has life changed for the Super Bowl MVP? They gave me the NFL preview. I want to get inside the huddle. And what's the story with Agassi? Is he back again? Print it, baby!
It's a hot and humid day here in Darlington, South Carolina, as we continue our coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500. We're on board with the leader of the race, Jeff Burton, looking back on the 11 car of Brett Bodine, who now goes 2 laps down in 18th position. It is a sunny day, but it is very hot and it is very humid, but it has not kept the fans from turning out en masse here. These shots from overhead are courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Full house here at Darlington once again this afternoon. Okay, well, we told you that the 99 car of Jeff Burton is the leader. Now, the 94 machine of Bill Elliott stayed out long enough to lead a lap. So we have had 5 leaders of the race so far: Jeff Burton, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, and now Bill Elliott.
Here we see Rick Mass, the Remington Arms Ford Taurus. He's running back in 40th spot. And Rick not having a large day. He's 5 laps down. There's our Citgo Ford Taurus. Michael Waltrip. He's back in 31st spot. He's a couple of laps down as he goes by Joe Nemechek.
And that is for position.
See Wally Dallenbach, the Budweiser car. He's in 28th spot. He's a couple of laps down as he tries to close in on Jeff Green, the money store. Looks like money, that car up there, doesn't it? Same color. Yep. Jeff Bodine is having a great run today in the Phillips MCI car. He's up in 6th spot in front of Rusty Wallace. And there was talking about Rusty Wallace. There he is. He's the 7th place car in the Miller Lite onboard camera. Right, and Mark Martin is the 3rd place car. About 7 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Burton. But that is Jeff Gordon right in front of him.
Yep.
Gordon really got hung up in some big-time traffic a little bit ago and cost him about 6 or 7 miles an hour on 1 lap. And that allowed Mark to come up. Not that Mark isn't running good, because he is. He's running very good. But that really cost Gordon.
Here in Darlington, Jeff Burton has had 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Bill Weber?
One of the tires off the right side of Dale Earnhardt's car has been taken by a NASCAR inspector back toward the Goodyear tire compound here in the Winston Cup garage area. They took 1 tire from Earnhardt, and we've been told they also took 1 tire from Jeff Burton. Obviously, all the NASCAR officials are busy working this race, the administrators, but you could speculate that this is part of the continuing inspection process following what happened last week at Loudon. So 1 tire off the 3, 1 off the 99. For more, let's go to Jerry Punch.
And, Bill, you can add to that 1 tire off the 24 car, and they have come to get a tire off the 88 team. What NASCAR is going to do, as you alluded to, is randomly take tires during the race to make sure they can keep the playing field level. Random selections, random confiscations of tires to make sure everything stays as even as it should be.
And you got to compliment NASCAR for doing so, because there's so many rumors about people cheating and using soaked tires and whatnot, and this is just one way for them to keep things under control.
Well, they have to. That's all NASCAR has, is credibility. And they must at all costs keep that and make sure that everyone that's watching this telecast, that's talking about this telecast, that's participating in this race today, realizes that everyone has the same chance to win.
Wallace, Earnhardt running in 7th and 8th.
Sort of reminds you of some of the old days when these guys ran together, Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt. They've had some great battles over the years.
That's exactly what I was thinking a moment ago, and I saw these 2 guys go by. I remember back to 1988 when I was leading the Southern 500, and these 2 guys came by me, running about like that, as you see them there, passed me, and went on down the road.
And what happened to BP that day?
Well, I think I ran out of tires, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. All All right, here's a Hardee's Field summary for you. The manufacturers battle as it goes on during the running of this race.
There's a battle for position as they try to get by Jeff Bodine. That will be for 6th spot. Rusty has it.
And Earnhardt goes to 7th. And now may challenge Rusty for 6th.
Well, they're running about 21 seconds behind the leader, which is about 2/3 of a lap. Michael Waltrip just passed Jeff Bodine. I don't know if he must have fresher tires or something. I don't know.
Yeah, he's 2 laps down, Ned, but passing an 8th-place car there.
I think that Jeff Bodine hit him before these other cars. Now look at Earnhardt dive to the inside of Rusty Wallace to take that spot away. I think that Jeff Bodine pitted earlier and has used up his tires is why he's struggling right now. And one reason that he was in front of these cars.
Dale Earnhardt is now in 6th. Rusty is in 7th.
Earnhardt lost a good bit on that pit stop. A good bit of time on the racetrack because he was only about 12 seconds behind the leader when he came in, and right now he's like 21 seconds behind.
Well, Kenny Irwin and Ernie Irvin have found each other again, and as we have said, they've had some skirmishes out there, not only today, but in previous races.
The last time we saw them, it was a 28, Kenny Irwin passing the 36 of Ernie Irvin. This time looks like the shoe is on the other foot. If Ernie can get up there and challenge.
Yeah, Ernie is a lap down in 13th, and Kenny is 2 laps down in the 18th position.
As we watch this battle,
here we go.
Johnny Benson is on pit road, and Ernie goes by pretty clean that time.
Jeff Gordon watching all of this action in front of him. Remember, he's the 2nd-place car. Bill Weber.
And Johnny Benson stuck on the pit road. He wants some better tires, a little better handling race cars, so he's got 4 of them, and he's back on his way.
There is Jeff Gordon.
And right behind him is Mark Martin, the battling for. We can see only 15, 20 car lengths behind those 2 guys.
Well, we've only had 1 caution period this afternoon, and that is one of the reasons why we are on record pace here in the Pepsi Southern 500. The track record 139.9. And right now, after 166 laps, we're going at 142.4 miles an hour. We'll be right back.
Thanks for the compliment, but I'd rather have that WD brand steak. It's great no matter how you cook it.
It is designed for power, engineered for the corners, and made to bring you to your feet. This is the White Track Grand Prix, selected the official pace car for NASCAR's 50th anniversary season. Whiter is better.
A demonstration of Big A's quick service. And now a closer look.
That'll work.
For fast service, go to the pros.
Shuffling papers all day long requires concentration. Someone hold my calls, I'm on a Big Mac vacation.
Did somebody say McDonald's?
It's the record everyone's talking about.
The assault on Roger Maris's record continues.
Now, ESPN Classic presents a world premiere documentary, Roger Maris, Reluctant Hero. Discover the man behind the most famous record in sports.
He was the most quiet individual I ever knew.
He just didn't know how to deal with the attention.
It's the remarkable story of the man who found himself chasing a legend and the price he paid for it. Roger Maris, Reluctant Hero, premieres Tuesday at 7:30 on ESPN.
From the dusty dirt tracks of the Southeast to the fastest growing sport in America, NASCAR celebrates its golden anniversary in 1998. NASCAR's 50th anniversary celebration is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR. Week in and week out, the heroes of NASCAR racing take to their high-speed, high-bank super speedways. But until the 1950s, stock car drivers only practiced their craft on short dirt track ovals. Then South Carolina's Harold Brasington constructed Darlington Raceway in 1950. He started a revolution. The inaugural Southern 500 was NASCAR's first race on a paved track and its first 500-miler. Californian Johnny Mance went the distance that day, beating out 74 other drivers and writing his name in the history books. He was the first to conquer Darlington Raceway and the first to usher in NASCAR's super speedway era. Well, we've come a long way since 1950. By the way, one of the car owners of a participant in that 1950 Southern 500, Junie Donlevy, who's still owning cars.
And Bud Moore, too, had a car. In fact, Bud Moore had two cars. As we watch this battle for second place, Jeff Gordon had it, and Mark Martin wants it.
And, of course, these two drivers are not only eligible for the $1 million bonus today, but both of them are very much in contention for the 1998 NASCAR Winston Cup Overall Championship.
As a matter of fact, I guess most people realize they're first and second. Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, the rainbow car, is first in points, and the 6 car Mark Martin is second.
And we will crown the champion of the Waldorf Astoria in New York in December. But Mark Martin is just a step behind Jeff Gordon as these two go for the championship. Mark comes into this race 67 points behind Jeff. Speaking of the Waldorf Astoria, BP is going to be among 12 honored at the Greatest Sports Legends dinner on October 6th as Jeff Bodine comes in. Congratulations, BP.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, we talked about Jeff Bodine. His car was getting very, very loose out on the racetrack, so he said, I got to come in and get some tires. He was just about to go a lap down. He was running in the 8th position. Now there are only 7 cars on the lead lap. Kenny Schrader is in 8th position. He just went a lap down as Bodine gets his service and heads back out on the track, and that car will feel a whole lot better to him now.
Yeah, the bad news is, Ned, he was only 28 laps since his last pit stop.
There is the leader of the race, Jeff Burton, coming up to put another lap on Darrell Waltrip, who's back in 41st position. And coming around here, about 7 3/4 seconds behind. The leader is Jeff Gordon, and man, he has got Martin glued to his tail, doesn't he?
He sure has. And there we see Ward Burton, who started on the outside pole. His car has not been what he wanted here today. He is a lap down. Ward is in the 9th position.
Both those cars. Let's go inside the Tabasco hot zone to Mark Martin and see what kind of mile per hour he's running now after a few laps of these tires. Up to 167 max down the backstretch. That ought to be the fastest part of the racetrack. Now we'll watch as he accelerates down the front stretch. 167 on the other straightaway. Hey, same thing on this straightaway.
About a little over 8,400 RPMs.
He just blows by Jerry Nadeau. This will probably hurt Mark's speed down this straightaway. Now, 166 once again. I thought passing Nadeau might have something to do with hurting his speed. Did not. But we see that it's hurt his RPM, because now he only turns about 8,400 RPMs. With fresh tires, he could probably turn 87, 8,800 RPMs. can hear him just coasting along, waiting. Now he's back on the throttle, back on the accelerator.
Up ahead, Jeff Gordon puts a car between himself and Mark Martin, and it's another one of the No Bull 5 drivers, Bobby Labonte, but he is not having a very good day. He's 2 laps down in 15.
He moves over and lets Mark Martin go by.
Well, Mark Martin's prediction last night during our coverage of Happy Hour was correct. He told us during that time period, and in fact he's been saying all weekend, the car that we'll all be chasing on Sunday afternoon is the 99 of Jeff Burton. And he is absolutely right. He's 8 seconds ahead of Jeff Gordon and the rest. As Ray Evernham looks on, we'll take a break here and be back with more live coverage in just a moment of the Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington.
The largest selection of car audio products in all of Virginia, right here. Discount Auto Sound. All the name brands at guaranteed low prices. And installations carry a lifetime warranty. Want to hear these? Can't. Don't want to blow your little TV speakers, so get over here to Discount Auto Sound and hear great buys like these. Get a Clarion high-power AM/FM CD for only $199.95. Or buy one MTX 10-inch or 12-inch speaker and get the second one free. At Discount Auto Sound, we'll match or beat any price, period.
Find a better deal?
No problem.
Get the KC Carefree Guarantee.
For every new or used vehicle we sell.
And we've sold over 200,000.
Find a lower price and we'll refund the difference.
110% of the difference.
That's confidence.
That's the KC Carefree Guarantee.
Buy with confidence from the name you know. Do it today.
13 automotive brands at 5 convenient locations and 7 KC used car and truck supercenters. There's one near you.
Thursday night football. Wake Forest has an offense with the ability to score at any moment, led by quarterback Brian Cookler.
And they'll test their skills against Navy. Thursday game night at 7:30. Navy versus Wake Forest, Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
Over 200 points, 6 wins, 11 podiums. And yet, Alex Zanardi still has one more thing to accomplish. Conquering Canada. Molson Indy Vancouver, today at 5 on ESPN.
To thank the greatest fans in sports and to close its 50th anniversary season, NASCAR offers you a chance to win a fantasy trip to the Napa 500 in November. On September 27th, during ESPN's coverage of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series race from Martinsville, we will announce a special phone number. When you call that number, you will be given 4 NASCAR-related questions. Answer them correctly, and you could be one of 10 fans to win this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. Check out NASCAR online and NASCAR Winston Cup Scene for details and a sneak preview of the questions.
We welcome you back live to ESPN SpeedWorld coverage of the Pepsi Southern 500 from Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. There's a beautiful overhead shot of this facility here. It's been around since 1950 from the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Well, we're seeing some pit stops. A 43 car of John Andretti just came in, and now he's going back out. He's 2 laps down in the 14th position.
Terry Punch?
Well, they used the terminology that they were using here in the pits. The car just jumped loose all of a sudden. So when that happens, you don't have time to worry about whether you have a tire going down or something broken on the car. At this racetrack, you've got to get it on pit road. That's exactly what John Andretti did. Came in and changed 4 tires. Actually, that's about 21 laps earlier than we would expect some of the other pit stops to take place.
We are 2 laps past the halfway mark, and Jeff Burton picked up the $10,000 for leading at the halfway point, and the leader at halfway has won 7 of the 23 races this season. Dale Jarrett was leader at halftime in the spring race, and he went on to win. And the only race that Jeff Burton has led at halfway was New Hampshire, and he won it.
And we can see what traffic does at this racetrack. He just caused some traffic and had a little bit of trouble getting around that traffic. And Jeff Gordon and Mark Martin was able to close in 3 or 4 seconds on the leader.
Yeah, they were over 7. He was over 7 seconds ahead of them, and now he's less than 5 seconds ahead of Jeff Gordon.
Brett Bodine is in, John.
Brett's been pitting a little bit earlier than just about everybody else. It'll be a 4-tire change. Now the NASCAR officials just giving him the word he was too fast
down pit road, so they're going to hold Brett Bodine for 15 seconds.
Oh, man, you're not having the best day in the world anyway, and then you get this stuck on you.
Insult to injury, huh?
Yeah.
Going to drop Brett clear back to about 35th in the point in the serial standings here. And Bobby Labonte is coming in, Bill.
And it looks like Bobby's going to be 0 for 4 in his charge after the No Goal Million. And the even worse news is he's probably not going to get a shot at going 0 for 5. Because if you don't finish in the top 5, you don't get a shot at Talladega. He's getting right side tires and left side tires. Basically, the car is not handled good all weekend. Jimmy Makar told him a few laps ago, we've had 5 days to fix this car and haven't been able to do it. But he's on his way with fresh tires, so it'll feel better for a while.
Yeah, they came down here and tested for a couple of days and just never did really get the car the way they wanted it. And, of course, Friday and Saturday, I guess they tested 3 days. And still, it just can't make it work.
And that's a bit of a surprise because he has run well here. He's finished 8th or better in 5 of the last 6 races at Darlington. There is Burton, and the interval back to 2nd and 3rd. Dale Jarrett, meanwhile, is still back in 4th position, but he is well, we're still waiting to give you an indication of how many seconds.
A little bit ago, he was 15.5 seconds behind. He's cut that down to 13.39 seconds now.
As he goes by Derek Cope in the gum out Pontiac. Derek is back in 15th position. A couple of laps down the lead. Pretty good run for Derek Cope today.
Not bad at all.
There we see Jeremy Mayfield. He is our 5th place car, and not too far behind him is Dale Earnhardt. There we see Earnhardt coming to the picture, and Earnhardt has a good run going today as Kyle Petty peels off the Hot Wheels Pontiac, goes to pit road.
Jeremy and Earnhardt a little over 21 seconds behind the leader. That's about where Earnhardt was last time we saw him racing with Rusty Wallace. He was 21 seconds behind, so he's sort of holding his own as far as that is concerned.
There's some pretty good career stats for Dale Earnhardt here at Darlington. Hardy's field summary will show you the points positions as they're changing, as positions are changing on the racetrack. Jeremy Mayfield has moved up 1 spot into 5th position, and Bobby Labonte has fallen a spot, and Schrader again has sole possession of 10.
See what those new tires do. Brett Bodine just drove by Dale Earnhardt, no problem at all. There he goes by Jeremy Mayfield.
And Bobby Labonte will be doing the same thing as Dale Earnhardt goes by Jeremy Mayfield. Goes into that 5th spot.
So Earnhardt is also having a very good run here this afternoon and is right up there in contention for the $1 million bonus.
Jeremy Mayfield started off today running so well, but he is really struggling now trying to keep up, trying to make those adjustments and trying to keep up with the racetrack as it changes.
Now, in terms of miles an hour, how much do those new tires make for you? Well, look at that. Brett just had 4 new tires. He ran a 151.7. Jeff Burton, the leader of the race, who's on older tires, last lap was 147.7.
But he was in traffic, too. That might have taken a little bit away from Jeff's time.
And Brett was also in traffic, which also hurt his time as well. And watch all these guys on the fresh tires go right by the leader of the race like he's a slow car.
Yep.
He said, I'll get you back. About 10 or 15 left. I'll get you guys back.
Burton leads over Gordon, Martin, Jarrett, and Earnhardt.
All right, you got the list on you?
Yeah, I got the list right here.
We're going to Napa. It's the best place for parts.
All right, you know what? If I ran Napa, here's what I would do. I would widen the aisles a little bit. I would put a brand new sign so it'd make things easy to find.
All right,
okay. And I'd have a state-of-the-art computer system to be able to find those parts like that.
Okay, but you've got to admit you can't beat Napa for the knowledge. I mean, they carry more parts than anything.
I agree.
Oh, you agree for a change?
Yes, for a change. All I'm saying is they should fix the stores up a little. Wow. Now I could live with this.
Hey, Mr. Science, ever wonder what a hard-working engine goes through? It gets the high rev, and I drove over the mountain because it was there, crap kicked out of it. With abuse like that, you don't want to take chances. This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines made by guys with more college degrees than they've had dates. It's been tested. For pure maximum protection, there's nothing better. I wouldn't lie to you. They're not paying me enough. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
It is designed for power, engineered for the corners, and made to bring you to your feet. This is the White Track Grand Prix, selected the official pace car for NASCAR's 50th anniversary season. Whiter is better.
Who's that, Grandma?
That would have been your great-uncle Floyd. About 65 years ago, he was playing hide-and-seek with his friends. And they never found him.
If you're gonna play to win,
Nobody found me.
play to win. If you're gonna have roast beef, have roast beef. Hardee's tender roast beef, specially seasoned, oven roasted, fresh slice to order.
You're gonna go? Go all out.
Linda Cohn in the ESPN studios. Sammy Sosa watch continues in Pittsburgh, and slamming Sammy now 1 for 3 against Chris Peters, but not a single home run. He's still at 58. Big Mark McGuire is at 60. He and the Cardinals in action in an hour. We'll keep you posted. And don't forget, we got McGuire and the Cardinals against the Cubs on Labor Day afternoon, beginning at 2 Eastern. Now back to Darlington and Bob Jenkins.
Thank you very much, Linda. And again, stay with us because we will have continuing updates of the chasing history home run situation. No reason to go anywhere else from the worldwide leader in sports. Let's go to John Kernan.
Here on the backstretch, Kenny Wallace has fitted their Titan car up with a chassis adjustment on the right rear. Last week, he announced he would be leaving Philbert Martossi's team to go to the second team being formed by Andy Petrie, a teammate to Ken Schrader for next year. He's also taking the Square V sponsorship with him. Pretty good pit stop. He's down and away.
On the front stretch, talking to Kenny Schrader, he just made a pit stop. And also Ernie Irvin just stopped in his Skittles Pontiac.
Ernie building up speed as he stays below that white line through turns 1 and 2.
I think the leaders have been out there about 50 laps since they made their pit stop somewhere in that area, so they'll be coming in the next 15 or so laps.
We're at the 202 lap mark on lap 203. Let's take a look at the Bud race recap. Jeff Burton has led 172 in the first 202 laps. We've had 9 lead changes, only 1 caution period, and that's put the average speed up to above 124 miles an hour. Those who have led a lap, Jeff Burton, of course, the most. Mark Martin did lead 3 laps. Jeff Gordon has not led a lap so far. And incredibly, only 1 car is being shown out of the race. That is Ted Musgrave. Everybody else is still out there on the racetrack, and we've had no real major incidents. We had a spin, but no wall contact, and boy, it's been a great race so far.
I bet you Ricky Rudd's got fresh tires on.
Oh, yeah. I'll bet you're right. Jerry?
Guys, there's a lot of the guys running up front who have been calling in, and they're talking about, yeah, adjustments they want to make on the car, but almost to a man, every driver I've heard the last 3 or 4 minutes on the radio has asked for Gatorade. We have got to have something to drink. The heat down here is absolutely stifling. We checked it with an infrared detector a moment ago. I just had them shoot my fire suit, and just the heat coming off us down here, it's 107 degrees in the pits. The humidity's got to be almost 90%. It is difficult to breathe in here. I can't imagine what it is inside the race car.
Sterling Marlin is in for a pit stop, running in 8th position. Who already has completed work on the right side of the car.
Left side tires on. See the rear tire changer had a little bit of trouble. I don't know who wins this race today, but that interview in Victor Lane is going to be rough because they're going to be out of breath for about 15 minutes.
It is a hot and humid day, as Jerry said. Bill Elliott is on pit road.
Now, he had stopped, he was the last one to stop of the leaders before, but here he comes back in now, Jerry.
And you know, Ned, I'm not really sure why, but we're hearing a lot of drivers comment about how loose their cars have get. Here is the 5-time winner at Darlington. 3 of those wins coming in the Southern 500. Elliott's bright gold car number 94. getting right side tires. Now coming to the left side. They clean the grill off as they come by, clean the windshield. As Bobby Hamilton's car goes by, they're trying to get their allowing it out as they are putting out the signboard for Jeff Gordon. He will come down pit road. Now, Jeff is one of those drivers that had complained this car was a little bit loose. And likewise, Dale Jarrett's car was a tick loose. Here comes the 24 car, the DuPont Chevrolet, down pit road. They're going to put a little bit of wedge in the car, according to Ray Evernham. Crew going to the right side. The handle, that bright orange handle, goes in the right rear window. All right, half around the way as the right side tire is going on. Jeremy Mayfield's in front of Bill Weber.
Jeremy's car has been just a tad loose. They're going to drop the track bar 1/4 inch. Give him 4 tires, send him back out. It's been a good run. Back to Jerry.
They've already laid a track bar adjustment on the 88 car. He was loose in the middle of the corner off. 4 tires, an air pressure adjustment, and DJ is down and away.
And we see the leader, Jeff Burton, sitting there. Jerry Bunch.
Right side tires for Jeff Burton. He just said a moment ago, I still